Thus, one of the biggest XRP events in history is about to happen. Apex 2025 is this. For the XRP Ledger community, this will be the biggest yearly summit. Additionally, they recently dropped the agenda. Over 60 presentations, practical workshops, live demonstrations, and 3 days of in-depth exploration of the most significant advancements in the XRP Ledger are planned. And this will take place in Singapore from June 10th to June 12th. That would be wonderful to see. The agenda is one aspect of this event that is really intriguing. As a result of our investigation, the agenda is now active. In a moment, we will discuss that here. I believe it was down here, but we do have down here what they're really going to be tackling, which is, of course, DeFi projects, for example, tokenization. Perhaps I should simply proceed to the agenda itself. Thus, in summary, they indicate that they will discuss AI, cross-chain, probability, DeFi, and RWA tokenization at Apex 2025. Now, I do have DeFi labeled if I go to the details area over here. If we take a closer look at this, we'll see how many DeFi projects and conversations Apex is truly having. I think it's crazy that there are so many continuous conversations with DeFi. But because of institutional DeFi programs, it makes a lot of sense. In addition, institutional finance is a hot topic while discussing it. As you can see, there is a rising initiative centered around institutional finance in general as well as DeFi in particular. I also enjoy seeing that. Last but not least, there is tokenization itself, or in this case, RWAs. Additionally, since tokenization and tokenization are similar, we could utilize both. It looks like we're going to see a lot of significant insights into the general use of the XRPL around certain use cases, which is why I'm really looking forward to some of these discussions at this event. Using tokenized securities as an example, we already know that the securities industry is worth quadrillions of dollars. I would love to see it. Everyone should definitely mark this event on their calendar, in my opinion, especially if they own XRP. Thus, it would be wise to keep an eye out for any developments from Apex. Apart from that, we recently discussed how XRP could overtake Bitcoin. However, what if XRP overthrew Ethereum? For this, a huge thank you to SmokeDog. In 2025, XRP is predicted to overtake Ethereum as the most popular cryptocurrency. Due to its own inefficiencies, Ethereum's 10-year hold on the traditional coin market is eroding. Users and developers are leaving due to scalability issues, exorbitant gas prices, and delayed updates. Ethereum costs reached a peak of $200 per transaction in 2022. The network was still beset by expense and congestion despite the anticipated improvements. Ethereum's inability to scale quickly enough to satisfy growing demand is also becoming evident. Competitors who are quicker, less expensive, and more effective are advancing, but none are gaining traction as quickly as the XRP Ledger. I would beg to differ now. The XRPL is unquestionably at the top of the list, but I do believe Hyra is a significant participant in that area as well. XRPL is designed for financial-grade dependability and global scalability. Here's why it's in a position to overtake Ethereum. Superior scalability and transactions. The transition from the Ethereum blockchain to the XRP Ledger has officially begun. Global payments will be made more quickly, investor fees will be lower, and the blockchain is carbon neutral. Reduce temporary loss and slippage in DeFi. Our findings demonstrate that the XRP Ledger AMM increases overall operating efficiency, decreases slippage and temporary losses, and speeds up price synchronization. Ethereum's DeFi layer is, well, antiquated and ineffective. The majority of AMMs use the Ethereum blockchain and deal with problems including high transaction costs, substantial slippage, risk, transient loss, and synchronization problems. XRP is a better mover than Ethereum, which was the first. By 2025, XRP will have overtaken Ethereum as the dominant cryptocurrency. It is, of course, documented. In this case, Ethereum will truly lose its position as the most popular cryptocurrency. In 2025, Ethereum will face its first significant challenge to its 10-year supremacy in the old coin market. Furthermore, they are beginning to discuss other major actors, albeit it is still too early to declare victors and losers. However, we can see that this paper highlights the primary problem with Ethereum. Then, of course, we have begun to switch from the Ethereum blockchain to the XRP Ledger, which means that the blockchain is carbon neutral and that we will have faster payments worldwide with lower fees for investors. Last but not least, the XRP Ledger does contain an automated market maker. Despite its usefulness, the majority of AMMs run on the Ethereum blockchain and have issues with synchronization, large transaction fees, substantial slippage, and irreversible loss risk. The XRP Ledger AMM, however, outperforms conventional Ethereum-based AMMs, particularly those that track consistent product market makers. I would love to see it. This demonstrates once more how bullish XRP is and the value and efficiency of the cryptocurrency. The idea of XRP overthrowing Ethereum may seem audacious, but it's a sign of a much bigger change in the cryptocurrency space. Ethereum laid the groundwork, but its architecture wasn't designed for widespread use, and the DeFi layer it helped pioneer is now crumbling under its own weight due to ineffective AMMs, gas wars, exploitation, and scalability bottlenecks. Even Layer 2 is merely patchwork, not solutions, and XRPL and similar projects aren't just faster. They're architected around real-world financial use cases from day one. The XRP LAM model shows that DeFi can be reimagined. Better liquidity mechanisms or mechanics, a lower slippage, fewer losses, and seamless institutional integration. This isn't about hype versus legacy. It's about infrastructure that actually works. If Ethereum can't evolve fundamentally, it may lose more than its spot on the leaderboard. 2025 could be the year utility beats first-mover advantage, and I do think that that's going to happen eventually. A lot of people think that Ethereum is safe simply because of the first-mover advantage. But so far it has been losing dominance, and it has been losing a lot of traction around adoption, not price action. We're just talking about adoption here. But outside of that, we also know that the XRPL has a lot of great amendments still waiting to get passed through, which is going to reinforce DeFi markets on the XRPL. One that I'm waiting for is the MPT token, which I keep putting a spotlight on because we're so close to getting this pass fully through. We're at 27 yays versus 8 nays. So, I do think that we get this very, very soon. And I think that's going to be a huge game changer because we've been told from many players why. And that basically allows for on-chain decentralized trading in a permissioned environment but built in a way such that there can be arbitrage with the open markets and really liquidity maximized in that regard. So perfect a kind of rails for institutional trading to be brought on-chain. The second one I'm especially excited about is a lending on XRPL mainnet. We'll originally start with collateralized credit origination uncollateralized credit origination with off-chain underwriting and then from there start to bring a collateral on-chain as well towards the end of 2025. So that really rounds out our focus from a Ripple perspective on XRPL, which is 3 use cases in particular: payments trading and then lending, again targeting those existing fintechs and financial institutions, and this is exactly why the MPT amendment is something that I focus on, because what she's talking about is bringing tokenized things of value on-chain. All of a sudden you have these tokenization and issuers issuing tokenized assets and they're like, well, I don't want this just to sit here collecting dust. We want to build use cases with these tokenized things of value. Therefore, the MPTs make that possible, which is why the multi-purpose token amendment is so important. It will unlock everything and change everything. So you should concentrate on these amendments, and yes, once they are passed, I do believe that institutional DeFi and tokenization will be greatly unlocked. With that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you do, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because there is more free content. You can follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. Finally, crafters, thank you for watching and have a great day.